Have you ever been just completely mesmerized watching someone perform?
Oh, absolutely.
Like maybe it was a musician, their fingers just flying over the keys or strings, and it looks impossibly fast, but also graceful?
Yeah, or an athlete making some incredibly complex move look like, well, like breathing.
Exactly. Or even, a colleague giving a presentation. They're just so fluid, so confident. You kind of think, wow, they were just born to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's that feeling, isn't it? That sense of complete effortlessness that
Yeah.
really makes you lean in.
It really does. It's captivating. It almost seems magical sometimes.
Totally. How some people make the incredibly difficult seem, well, incredibly easy.
Right.
So today we're taking a deep dive into a concept that speaks right to it's from our source material, the Art of Effortless Mastery.
Okay.
And it gives us these two pretty powerful directives. First, make things seem effortless.
Interesting.
And second, maybe even more provocative.
Hmm.
Don't show the sweat makes success look natural.
Yeah. Don't show the sweat. That definitely makes you stop and think.
Yeah, okay, so let's unpack this a bit. On the surface, sounds simple enough maybe, but what does it really mean? To make something seem effortless?
Is it just about, like, hiding the hard work, putting on a front?
Or is there something more sophisticated going on? Some kind of psychological strategy we can actually learn from?
That's the key question, I think.
So, our mission for this deep dive is to explore the why. Why this advice? What are the implications? How does it shape perception? And maybe most importantly, how you, listening right now, might think about applying it, to elevate your own impact.
Yeah, that's a great setup because what's really fascinating here is how that simple phrase, make it look effortless, it sort of immediately challenges how we usually think about hard work.
Right. We're often told to show the effort.
Exactly. Celebrate the visible struggle, wear it like a badge of honor. But this advice suggests, well, a powerful alternative.
An alternative way to think about it.
Yeah, urging us to think beyond just, grinding it out, to really consider how we present the results of all that grinding.
How we present the culmination of those hours.
Precisely. It's about understanding the psychology of perception, really. How things appear matters.
Okay, absolutely. So let's get right into that core idea then.
Mm.
Don't show the sweat.
Mm-hmm.
When our source tells us this, are we talking about being deceptive, pretending we didn't put in the hours?
That's the immediate worry, isn't it?
Yeah. Or is there a deeper, maybe more strategic way to interpret that? Like, what's the actual difference between not showing the sweat and, well, just not sweating at all? Because those feel very different.
They are very different, and that's a crucial distinction. It's definitely not about being lazy or, dishonest about the effort involved. That's not the point.
Okay.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about the difference between let's call it your learning mode and your performance mode.
Learning mode versus performance mode.
Okay, right. In learning mode, you absolutely should be sweating. You should be grappling, making mistakes, pushing through discomfort. That's where the growth happens, obviously.
Makes sense.
But don't show the sweat. That primarily applies to your performance mode, when you're delivering the final thing.
Yeah.
The polished product, the refined execution to an audience.
Okay, so it's about the delivery.
Exactly. The goal is to kind of obscure the tough journey, the practice, the preparation, the endless repetitions, maybe even the failures that got you there.
Right.
Think of a master chef in a really busy kitchen. During service, you don't see them like agonizing over measurements or spilling stuff or frantically checking a recipe.
No, you see calm, fluid movement.
Precisely. You see the execution, the perfect plate, all the struggle. That happened way before. In the test kitchen, during years of training, early mornings prepping.
Right, behind the scenes.
When they're on stage, so to speak, they present the mastery.
Yeah.
Not the messy process.
Okay, that analogy works. Or like a speaker, right?
Yeah, exactly. A public speaker practices until the message just flows, until they've internalized it so deeply that they can actually connect with the audience instead of just trying to remember what comes next.
Because the audience isn't there to watch you struggle with your notes.
Not at all. They're there for the message, or to appreciate the skill, and actually if they sense your struggle, it makes them work harder.
Oh, interesting. It increases their cognitive load.
Yes. They have to work harder to follow you, and that takes away from the impact of what you're actually saying.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So it's almost like respecting the audience by giving them that refined experience.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to wonder, and this is where it gets really interesting for me, why would someone actively choose this? Choose to make their success look natural, look effortless?
Yeah, because instinctively.
Because like you said, we often want to show our hard work. We want credit for the effort, the long hours. So what's the advantage? What does this perception of effortlessness actually do for the person or how others see them?
Well, this taps into some pretty fundamental human psychology, actually. We seem to have this deep-seated tendency to really admire things that look innate, or things achieved with surprising ease.
Like natural talent.
Exactly. When success looks natural or effortless, it often suggests this deeper level of talent or understanding or command that goes beyond just plugging away diligently.
It creates a kind of aura.
Yeah, an aura of profound capability, almost like a halo effect. Think about leaders. If a leader projects this kind of effortless confidence and competence, their decisions feel more assured, less open to second guessing.
Especially in a crisis, maybe.
Absolutely. Imagine a leader who seems calm, collected, decisive, even though you know they must have been working like crazy behind the scenes. That perceived effortlessness, it inspires trust, stability.
Okay, I can see that. And for presenters, you mentioned cognitive load.
Right. For presenters, it makes complex ideas feel more accessible, more digestible. If you're watching someone who looks like they're struggling, fumbling for words,
You start to doubt them a little.
you do. And your attention shifts, right, from their message to their struggle. But if they deliver with that fluid confidence, the audience isn't distracted. They can just absorb the content.
So it's not just about seeming confident, it's about helping the audience focus.
Precisely. It minimizes their cognitive burden. If you make it look easy, you establish a higher level of credibility almost automatically. You signal that you have such command of the subject.
The difficulty just disappears for the observer.
Exactly. It implies the skill is just deeply ingrained, truly integrated knowledge.
Wow, okay. That's a really powerful point about the audience's perception. It's not just about you, it's about how your delivery affects them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's bring this right to you, listening now. How can you actually apply this insight, this idea of effortless mastery?
Yeah, what does it look like in practice?
Does it mean you should, like, literally hide your learning process? Lock yourself away into your perfect? That sounds kind of stressful.
Probably not the most practical approach for most things.
Right. Or is there a way to not show the sweat that's more about strategic presentation and really focused practice without being, dishonest about the journey?
There has to be.
Think about that classic analogy, the swan, right? Gliding so gracefully across the water.
Serene, elegant.
Looks completely effortless on the surface. But underneath,
Paddling like mad.
well,
A powerful, constant effort just to maintain that poise, that forward motion.
exactly. So how can you embody that polished, serene surface while still, acknowledging, maybe even embracing your own essential paddling that's happening behind the scenes?
That swan analogy is perfect because it really highlights the strategic part. It's not about hiding the fact that you did paddle or are paddling. It's about choosing when and where you showcase the result.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Well, one strategy is something we could call maybe private refinement.
Private refinement. I like that.
Yeah, it just means dedicating serious time to deliberate practice, skill development, but doing it, behind the scenes mostly.
Like the presentation example.
Exactly. You don't just draft it and show up. You practice it. Aloud, maybe record yourself cringeworthy but useful.
Oh yeah, been there.
You refine the slides, anticipate the tough questions. You practice until the delivery feels almost second nature. You're moving from, conscious incompetence towards conscious competence, and ideally, eventually, towards unconscious competence.
Where it actually starts to feel effortless, not just look it.
That's the ultimate goal. Another approach is maybe strategic timing.
Strategic timing.
Yeah. Look, you don't necessarily need to hide every single learning step from your immediate team or close colleagues. Sometimes, in a collaborative setting, sharing challenges or lessons learned after you've worked through them can actually build trust, foster a growth mindset.
Right. Showing vulnerability can be good sometimes.
It can. But when it comes to the final deliverable for a major client, the board, a big public audience, that's when you shift fully into performance mode. That's when you present the polished product.
Okay. So it's about context. Understanding your audience.
Precisely. It's the difference between, say, a messy brainstorming session with your team and presenting the fully thought out proposal externally. You manage the feedback loop internally first.
So when you do present it out there, it looks seamless because it has been refined.
Exactly.
That makes a lot more sense. It's not about faking it till you make it necessarily.
That-
It's about preparing properly, and choosing the right moment for the reveal. I can totally relate to the sweaty presentation, by the way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember giving this one talk. I was so nervous. By the end, my shirt was practically a roadmap of sweat stains.
Yeah.
Not subtle.
We've all been there.
The audience probably thought I was having some kind of medical emergency.
Oh.
Definitely not effortless mastery. And I'm sure looking back, it really detracted from whatever I was trying to say.
Well, yeah, those experiences are exactly why we appreciate a truly polished delivery when we see it. But what's fascinating here is the balance we're
The
talking about.
nuance.
Yes, the nuance. Because while making things look effortless can be really powerful perception-wise, we should also think about the potential downsides. When might it not be the best approach?
Absolutely. Because if you always make everything look easy, does that set unrealistic expectations for other people?
That's a big one.
Like, they see your effortless success, but they don't see the, monumental amount of work that went into it. Does that discourage them?
It certainly can. That's a significant downside. If you constantly project this image of just sailing through everything, you might actually alienate people who are still in that struggle phase.
Right, they might feel like, oh, I could never do that.
Exactly. Instead of feeling inspired to put in the work, they might just feel inadequate. It can inadvertently make mastery seem like some magical innate trait, rather than what it usually is, a hard-won, cultivated skill.
So, for mentors, maybe showing the struggle could be better.
Sometimes, yes. For mentors, or even leaders, strategically revealing a past struggle and how you overcame it, that can be incredibly impactful, much more relatable and motivating than always projecting easy command.
That's a really good point. What about downsides for the person themselves?
Well, another thing is constantly striving for perceived effortlessness. If you're not also working towards genuine internal effortlessness, that can be exhausting.
Right, just keeping up the appearance.
Yeah. The phrase effortless mastery really implies that true mastery allows the execution to start to feel effortless to the performer over time. Because the skill is so deeply embedded, it's like muscle memory.
Like that seasoned pro you mentioned.
Exactly. They react instinctively without needing conscious thought for every step. They hit that flow state where the difficulty for them has genuinely decreased or vanished. If you're just pretending it's effortless while still internally struggling and stressed.
Well, that sounds like a recipe for burnout.
Yeah, definitely.
The goal isn't just to make it look effortless to others. It's to actually get to a point where the skill is so integrated, so rehearsed, that the performance demands less conscious mental energy from you. It's truly internalized.
Okay, that's a crucial distinction. The journey from appearing effortless to actually feeling effortless, or at least less effortful, that really puts the mastery back into effortless mastery.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, this deep dive into the art of effortless mastery, it isn't really about being fake or pretending you didn't work hard.
Not at all.
It's more about understanding the real impact of presentation, the power of perceived ease, and how to channel all your hard work, the diligence, the practice, the knowledge, into a polished, impactful final outcome.
Well put.
It's about letting your mastery speak for itself, maybe, rather than, constantly pointing out how much effort it took, showing the finished painting, not necessarily every single brushstroke and discarded sketch.
Exactly. It's a strategic choice, really, not some rule for every single moment of your life.
Right.
And this brings up an important question, I think, for you to consider as you go forward.
Yeah.
In what specific areas of your life, maybe it's a presentation coming up, a project you're leading, even a new skill you're trying to learn, or perhaps a difficult conversation you need to navigate, where could strategically shifting your focus, shifting from showing the sweat towards delivering with more apparent effortlessness,
Yeah.
where could that really elevate your impact and how people perceive your capabilities?
And maybe also asking the flip side.
Yes, exactly. And just as importantly, where might it actually be more beneficial to strategically reveal some of that paddling, perhaps to build connection or to inspire others who are on a similar path?
Finding that nuanced balance.
It's all about finding that right balance for maximum effect in each situation.